just over 103 hours of training with as few as 32 on the road. Once you complete those hours, you can attempt a road test, and if you pass, well, you got your license. Now consider this: you need more training to become a hairstylist.
What's going on, Mutha Truckers? Welcome to Mutha Trucker News. Please email us at muthatruckernews@gmail.com if you have any information, any debates, anything that you want to talk about in the trucking industry. Now, I get a lot of drivers all the time that say, Alex, why don't you talk about Canada a lot? And hey, when you guys send videos, I'll talk about it. So I actually had a Mutha Trucker send me links here, and this is shots fired. It's not me. It's not my opinion. Okay. This is what this news station is making basically an article about, saying that Canadian truck drivers don't get enough training, and that basically hairdressers have to go to school longer than truck drivers in Canada.
The driver at the wheel of that tractor trailer beside you on the 400 may have had only a few weeks of training before getting hired.
Toronto OPP on scene here with this single vehicle collision involving a tractor trailer rollover.
The 22-year-old driver of this truck in hospital right now with critical life-threatening injuries.
Transport truck versus a red sedan.
Roads are dry, conditions are great, but things happen fast.
And that's putting other drivers and themselves at risk.
A tanker truck just flipped over.
In Ontario, you can earn your big rig license after just over 103 hours of training with as few as 32 on the road. Once you complete those hours, you can attempt a road test, and if you pass, well, you got your license. Now consider this: you need more training to become a hairstylist.
What are your thoughts about that? That says shots fired, right? Another thing that I thought was pretty interesting was these schools that train you, they're also the same ones in certain provinces that give you your actual road tests when getting your license.
Kim Richardson and Mike Millian are calling for a crackdown on their own industry. Once you get that AZ license, you could be driving a fully loaded truck down the 401 tomorrow.
You could be operating a set of B trains that weighs up to 140,000 pounds all by yourself.
That same day.
Yeah.
That same day.
Ontario became the first province to mandate a bare minimum in training in 2017. Before that, there was no requirement anywhere in Canada. The move was meant to rid the province of shady schools teaching would-be truckers just enough to pass a test. But the number of trucking schools has exploded. Those schools have approval from the Ministry of Transportation to test and license the students who pay to train them. According to the Auditor General, drivers whose instructor was also their examiner had a 95% pass rate. A quarter of carriers testing their own drivers ranked among the worst 1% of all carriers for at-fault collisions.
The three questions we hear all the time: how much, how long, and when's my test? And those are three of the worst questions you can ask.
95% chance that those drivers pass. But again, are they getting enough training, right? And I thought about this because my wife is a hairstylist as well. And in America, it's the same thing, right? I would say most schools in America, you need 160 hours, right? And there's a lot of places like California where you need over 1,000 hours to become a cosmetologist or a hairstylist. Here's the big debate. What are your thoughts here? If we were to really do this, how long or how many hours should a truck driver actually have, or a new student truck driver actually have, training wise, hours wise, before they should be able to get their CDL, right? I'll tell you, these companies, they don't care. It's not about safety with them, and they're trying to get just butts in seats. That's really what they're trying to get, right? So they're trying to get the least amount of time frame to get people into these seats, and then later on they complain about all these crashes. So Mutha Truckers, comment down below. I want to hear from the Canadian drivers. Are you guys really the most unsafe? And second to that, how much training should there actually be in CDL schools before letting a newcomer out into the real world, right? Mutha Truckers, comment down below.